Hello, math nerds. Here we go with chapter 4 section 4.1 of Math 0028. These are the U-try problems. So in this section, you are simplifying radicals with numbers underneath the radical sign. So let's get started. Letter A is the square root of 64, which that should be pretty simple. It's just 8. Not the square root of 8, just 8. Plain old 8. Letter B. Square root of 144, that would just be 12, because 12 times 12 gives you 144. Now you ask yourself, can it be that easy? No. There's going to be ones that are not going to be perfect squares. Take letter C, case in point. 50 is not a perfect square. So we need to write down our perfect squares over here. Let's see, 9. I can't talk and write at the same time. So that we can see what perfect square goes into 50. Let's see, after 36 we have 49, and that will be high enough to go for this slide because 50 is our biggest number. So 50 is right after 49. That 49 does not go into 50, neither does 36, but 25 does. So what you're trying to do is find a perfect square that's a factor of your number, okay? It has to be on the list of perfect squares. So 25 times 2, that still gives me back the 50 that I started with. 25 is my perfect square. So the first term has to be a perfect square. That's the key. So then you take the square root of that perfect square. The square root of 25 is 5. So it comes out front. That's gone. And what's left on the inside is 2. So there's your answer. 5 times the square root of 2. Now we're going to do the same thing with number 12. 12 falls right here between the 9 and the 16 on our list. So you go up. 9 does not go into 12, but 4 does. So we're going to rewrite 12 as 4 times 3. 4 is our perfect square. So now in the next step, you take the square root. The square root of 4 is 2. So it's got to go outside of the radical. So the 4 is gone, and we still have the square root of 3 left inside. Letter E, now we have a number on the outside. So what that's going to do is anything that we bring out, the 5 is going to get multiplied by all the terms that come outside. So once again, I'm going to write out my perfect squares over here on the right hand side. 36, 49, 64, 81. That's as high as we need to go because 72 is our biggest number. All right, so on this first one, we've got to look at 40. So 40 is right over here between the 36 and 49. And if you go up, 36 doesn't go, 25 no, 16 no, 9 no, 4 does. It seems like something bigger, but 4 is the only one that works. So 4 times 10. And you can double check. If you put 10 on your list to see if anything goes into 10, nothing goes into 10. So you know you've got the biggest perfect square at the beginning there. So 4 is our perfect square. So bring down the 5. Now, what's going to come out, the square root of 4 is 2. So that comes out front, okay, with the 5. The 4 is now gone, but you still have the square root of 10 left inside your radical. Now, the last thing you need to do is just tidy it up. 5 times 2 gives you 10, and we still have the square root of 10. All right, letter F. We have negative 9 and the square root of 72. So 72 is over here between 64 and 81. Now, this one you got to be careful because a lot of people go, oh, 9. And it does work, but it's not the biggest perfect square. And that's what you need to find. 36 goes into 72. You want the biggest perfect square. So that's why I tell you find your number and go up the list. Don't go down because then you'll find the smallest. You want to find the biggest. So find your number on the, where it falls in the list and go up. So we're going to rewrite 72 as 36 times 2. Okay? And, use your calculator if you're not sure if, people go, oh, 64 no, 49 no. They go 36 no. They don't even check it. Use your calculator to check and see if it's a factor or not. And it is. So we have negative 9 outside. Now, the square root of 36 is 6. That comes outside the 36 is gone, and we still have the square root of 2. Now multiply, simplify on the outside. Negative 9 times 6 is negative 54 times the square root of 2. And there's your answer. Okay, square root of 900. It's a huge number. Here's the cool thing. It's a perfect square. So when it's a really big number, the first thing you should do is check it on your calculator. Put in 900, hit the square root button, or however which way your calculator asks for it, and it turns out that it is just plain old 30. 30 times 30 gives you 900. So it's a perfect square. Not the square root of 30, just 30. Now, 444 is not a perfect square. I checked. Unfortunately, it's not. But look, right, you've got 4's right there. So you can break this down into 4 times 111. Now, it seems like 111 should have some type of perfect square in it, but it doesn't. 3 goes into it, but it's 37 times, and 3 or 37, neither one of those is a perfect square. So your only perfect square here is 4. So now bring out the square root of 4 would be 2 comes outside, and we're left with the square root of 111. It's just a really weird looking answer. All right. Letter I, the square root of 96. So let's see if I can remember which one goes into this. 16, 25, 36. It might be 16, but I'm not sure. 49, 64, 81, 100. That's as far as we need to go. All right, so 96 is right here between the 81 and 100. And if we go up, I'm pretty sure it's 16. I should have figured this out before I started the video, huh? 96 divided by 16. Oh, this is the trouble with using a stupid iPad for a calculator. Yes, it does. 6 works in 16. So, square root of 96, we're going to rewrite it as 16 times 6. That was the perfect square that went into 96, was 16. Okay? Now, bring out the square root of 16, which would be 4, comes outside, and we're left with the square root of 6. And that's your answer. Now, letter J, we have the negative 6 on the outside. Just keep bringing that down. 75 is right here between 64 and 81. Well, if we go up, 64 doesn't go. 49, nope. 36, nope. But 25 does. 25 times 3, okay? 25 is our perfect square. So I have the negative 6 is still on the outside. The square root of 25 is 5. That comes outside. That's gone. And we're still left with the square root of 3. So now simplify on the outside. Negative 6 times 5 is negative 30. And the square root of 3 is your answer there. And that is it for 4.1. Good luck with that homework.